Hi there, it's Lori, and I'm here with a not classroom story because I just wanted to talk about some yarn I was given in a bag, but it's a really funny story. Because of what it is, I'm not going to say who this came from. This isn't a friend. It's more a person I know who knows my high school aged, well, I guess the other one's technically in high school in the fall, but high school aged stepdaughter. This person was cleaning out and organizing and whatever, and they were like, oh, would Lori want this yarn and bag? I don't think I'm ever going to say no to yarn. Like, let's be honest. So I get it, and it's pretty nice. I'm actually planning on, hold on 1 second, using this yarn for the hat for the June Mystery Yarn Challenge for Armchair Chef. So here's this bag. That's some of the yarn that was in there. You can see some of the other yarn in here. There's some used yarn I can just pull out. There's this. It's pretty thin. Actually, I guarantee Shannon from another yarn would love this yarn. It feels like it could have some wool content. Anyway, there's just a variety of yarn in here, and then there are also a couple crochet hooks. So I'm digging in the pockets. That was actually something I was making. I'm digging in all these pockets. Here's the hooks that were in there. Anybody use a 1.65 millimeter? That's a little hook. Can you even see that? It's a little tiny hook. And then a 9 and a 6. Now I have a friend I'm going to give these to because she's just learning. It's actually my daughter's mother-in-law. I'm going to give that to. But when I was going through the pockets, so here's the funny part. Going through all the pockets, there were joint papers and a half-smoked joint, aka marijuana pot, cigarette, whatever you want to call it. And I laughed really hard because of the indirect way I got this. I thought it was really funny. But again, even though it's totally legal in Colorado, I wouldn't want to say who actually gave that to me. The people that know them know the story and think it's hilarious. I actually didn't tell the high schooler because I didn't know what she would think about that. About the person that gave it to her. Anyway, I did not smoke. I do not smoke pot. I will take a microdose gummy every once in a while, a half of one for sleep only, and only since I retired, because you can't use anything like that if you're a military, law enforcement, teaching, anything federally funded in any way. It doesn't matter if it's legal in your state. You can't do anything, even with a medical marijuana license. But that's neither here nor there. It's just really hilarious that I got a bag of yarn and then, well, a free toque if I had wanted it. There were also marijuana rolling papers in there that I am giving to my dad because, you know, he lives in a state also that's Oregon that is also legal. And anyway, it's yeah. So I got a little extra surprise with my yarn and hooks. It's a great bag though, right? It's actually a diaper bag. And I think that's funny too. The irony of that. Okay, what I'm really here to talk about is my Mystery Yarn Challenge projects. I'm going to, before I do that, I'll just really quickly show you, and I'll pop a picture in. This is how far I am. I'm a little further than halfway on this, and it's looking really cool. So I'm looking forward to getting this done. Did not get it done by my son-in-law's birthday, which was actually today as I'm recording it, but I won't upload this till tomorrow. So the first project I did, I had to actually redo it a couple times, and I had to make major modifications to it because I was running out of yarn. I thought I had enough balls of this yarn. It's called Hometown USA, and it's pretty thick. That's the blue and green. This is colorway Gators, which I'm sure it's for the Miami the Gators, or the Gators, Florida Gators. Which university is the Gators? Wherever they made Gatorade, which I happen to have right here at Gatorade. Florida. It has to be Florida. Florida Gators. Anyway, okay, so this is the bag. And for one thing, I knew I was going to run out of yarn, and so it doesn't have the bottom in reinforcements. It's just got the side. So I had to figure out from, her pattern was so good, it will be linked below, that I could actually, the way she did with the measurements, I could figure out how to just make these two panels. Well, they're also supposed to be two handles because, as you can see, it collapses in on itself. It's fine. I haven't figured out how I'm going to use it or what I'm going to do with it. I might reinforce the bottom. So her pattern calls for a thick yarn plus a skinny yarn, or a 4-weight yarn. And I used let's look. Oh, I used little pencil grips to make it squishy because of the way I held it. I used an 8. Is this the one I used? No, I used a 12, I think. I think I used a 12 millimeter. This I used on the other thing I finished in like half or less than half the time. Anyway, I think because I had to make modifications to this, and I haven't figured out how to do it. It's Broncos colors. I'm in Colorado, so it's Denver Broncos colors for sure. I don't know if that's very obvious by the lighting, but Denver Broncos colors it is. So that might end up in, my family does a white elephant exchange at Christmas because it is useful. But I don't know. I might use this as a project bag. I didn't even have enough yarn to do the pocket that you're supposed to do. Again, it was supposed to have 2 handles and go like this, which would make a lot more sense, and have a reinforcement in the bottom to make the bottom flat. But that's where I ended with that. Now, this one I really want to talk about a lot. Okay, this is the sweater. I will insert a picture of, I made it for my youngest stepdaughter, the one that's about to go into high school. And I'm going to talk about this. Okay, Shannon, from Another Yarn. I have come up with, to some degree, because I've never seen it done this way, a way to do your sleeves as you're going. I literally made this in one big panel, and so all I had to do was seam this side and this side. And then I chose to put some decreasing, I did single crochets and then some decreases to just kind of give it a cuff. You'll see in the picture, so it kind of blouses at her wrist a little bit. It is the right length, which is really nice. I was worried it wasn't quite long enough. She has longer arms than I do, even though she's short. I have short arms and really small hands. So anyway, so I did that. So this yarn, I believe I used just short of 4 skeins. Where are they? Here's one. Okay, they're all wrapped differently, so they don't look the same. Like this one, it just looks like black yarn, but then you can see I pulled it apart to make sure. This is called the colorway is newspaper, which I think is a perfect description of it. But I love the way it's striped on this. I think it looks really cool. And I told her the way I made it, she could wear whichever way she liked the front to be, because it was, I made it pretty wide across here because I know she'll wear it over a tank top or something. Anyway, it's the Impeccable, right? Yeah, Impeccable Speckle Stripes. And then the colorway is newspaper. It was on clearance. I think I got each ball for like $1.50. I had 7 balls, and now I have 3 balls. So that means I used 4 balls, and I have like just a tiny partial ball. I don't know what I did with it. Nope, that's part of that. So let me talk about this. Okay, so what I did is I started at the bottom and I did the, I think I did the exact width she did. Or I was going off measurements. And so I started, so I was just doing this front panel. When I got to about the length that this was, what I did is, and I don't know which side it was, I just continued by chaining. I believe I chained 50. And then I came back doing the pattern. So it's 3 doubles, and 2 chains, and then skip 2, and then, anyway. So I had to, I don't know, maybe it was only 49, whatever came out, so that when I got back to here, I would just be able to go straight across. As you can see, the sleeve goes straight into that. And then it goes across, and then when I got to the end of this row, well, it was going to end up being half a row off. So this, so I had to kind of scoot it down, and then I did the pattern, or did the chain, and then came back halfway to the pattern. Or did I have to do it 2 ways? I can't remember. Darn it, I should have written it down. Anyway, I just kind of made it so that it would for sure work out, so that everything was balanced. And then so this was all laid flat, if you can imagine. So the 2 panels. So then when I got to the length, the width, which I think was 17 centimeters, I did two sets of 3 on the panel part. I mean, again, it's still attached to this arm. So I did the sleeves at the same time. And then I got here and I just chained, and then I figured out how many chains I needed to skip to where it would be equal on this side, and then attached. And then when I came back in the chains, I just did the pattern. I did put 2 rows of single crochet, but no decreasing on the neckline. It's pretty wide on her. It fits her right here. You'll see that in the picture. Like, she's just wearing a random t-shirt underneath, but it fits her to right here. So I probably could have done a little bit of decrease or something here. If she ends up wanting some adjustments, I will make them. But so it was the panel, then half the sleeve, well, the whole sleeve, but like basically a hole in the middle. And I think one of Bagaday Crystal's sweater patterns, it works like that, where you just chain, and then you skip that many, and then you come around down the chain and do the pattern, and then you end up with a nice neck hole. And again, this was supposed to be kind of wide, so it is. So yeah, I'm really, 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 really happy with how it came out. And all I had to sew was up here and up here. And then like I said, I added some extra things. I added another single crochet at the bottom. I added, I think, 3 rows, 1 regular single crochet on my sleeve, and then 2 decreasing rows. And same thing down here. And then, like I said, I added just a little bit of neck to just make it look a little more finished. But it was a great way to do sleeves without having to do sleeves, because I could just measure her arm and make the chain as long as I needed to make it. This was my best friend on the doing this pattern. Also, actually, on that bag, because there were a lot of measurements she gave. 2 different creators. I will link both down below. But I know Shannon from Another Yarn doesn't like to do her sleeves. So, and I don't know how it works with knit. I don't know if you could do the same thing. Like I said, I learned the idea of doing the single crochet and then coming back from doing the little tiny Christmas sweater Christmas tree ornaments. So I had to kind of manipulate it to make it actually work. Yeah, I think I had to go down 2 rows, do that, then come back so it wouldn't like pop up until it needed to. Anyway, I really should have written it down. Anyway, that's it. If you ever want to chat with me, leave a comment. I would chat with you about how I did that. I just have to, I might have to like kind of in a weird way recreate it. I would only do a couple rows and really short just to remember how I got it to match up, because seriously guys, that was amazing to just do the sleeves at the same time, and so little sewing to do. It was fantastic. And with this self striping, obviously I didn't color control at all because you can see breaks and stuff, but it came out really, really cool, and I love it. So thank you, Armchair Chef Lori, for this very different way of doing the Mystery Yarn Challenge. It's been a lot of fun. This yarn, this cotton yarn, I'm going to use, I think, to make the hat. So that's going to be, I think, my next project. I do also want to make, it is only the 4th of June, but I feel like this, I've only got 3 done. I got the strawberry stitch, which I made a little purse for my granddaughter, and then the bag and the sweater, but that means I've got 4 more to do. I think I'm going to do the tulip and the ice cream cone stitch together in a catgan for a friend. I think that's my plan there. Again, not doing a full cat couch because the frame part, what you put it on, is such a pain in the butt. But anyway, I think this is going to be that hat, that bucket hat, I think it was, for a friend because she wears them all the time. So thank you all for coming by, and you never know what you're going to get when somebody gifts you yarn. Be grateful. Anyway, thanks for stopping by.